friend of mine recently described the world as a used car lot. With the implication, I think, being that many of the cars in the lot are damaged goods. I found it hard to refute that. For whatever reason, the last year, I guess, has been an opportunity to see reflected all around me and around all of us the level of damage that has accrued to so many of us in the lot. I think one of the great gifts of the recent period is that you can't fix that which you don't know is broken. And I think many of us are beginning to see things that are not functioning well, that our mechanism inside is not as impervious to outside distraction and discomfort as we thought, that some of us who thought we dealt well with stress had no clue to the kind of dimensions of stress that might be thrown at us in the course of a lifetime. We've lived in a very privileged world where, yes, there were ups and downs, but they weren't as roller coaster-like as they have been in recent time. And so what one gets to see is that the vehicle that we are driving or riding in, however you want to look at it, is not completely up to par. And what to do with that level of dysfunction, that level of damage? Well, probably the first thing that most people do when they start to feel damage is they want to go to the repair shop. And we all look to the repair shop as some kind of garage outside there. We can call it a doctor, a psychiatrist, a gym, a physical therapist. There's so many places to go to start to try to deal with the parts that are dysfunctioning. Or a meditation class. With the imperative being, fix me. Fix me. I'm not well. I'm not handling the world well. And so, what are they going to give us that can fix things? Take a pill and call me in the morning? Okay? Sometimes that works. Certain pills. Certain diagnoses are repairable and can be managed externally. But some of them are structural. Some of them are genetic. Some of them are part of the problem. The parts that you were built with were dysfunctional from day one, manufactured badly. And so you present yourself to an external fixer, and they may even be gifted. And they may say, well, if you come here, let's say it's a gym, and you work out 3-4 days a week, and you function on these machines, and you build up slowly, and you do this and you do that, you will make yourself stronger. You will become more capable of working in the world. And let's follow that analogy for a moment. And for the first week you come to the gym and then you go, oh my God, this is hard. This is work. Yikes. That hurt. The day after it was painful. And so 3 days in or 3 weeks in or whatever it is, you start having a lot of excuses. But why not to go to the gym? And they, you guys all know your excuses. We all do. And so you stop going. Or you go to the gym and you tell so-and-so, if you have a trainer at the gym, you say, well, I didn't sleep well last night, so I can't really work out today. Or you say, I pulled a muscle. So the woman will say, well, I know a massage therapist. And you go to the massage therapist and they'll start working on it and say, oh my God, you really need to work on this, and here's a series of exercises. And you go, oh my God, more exercises. And they keep doing this horrible thing, which is they turn it over to you. They say, you have to do this. And you go, but I want you to do it. Why can't you do it? And there's a horrible awakening that takes place for people, which is, you have to do it. You have to do it. And when you were a little kid, your mom did it. Or your dad did it. Or somebody else did it. And you probably tried to structure a life where other people would do it. But of course you learned somewhere in school that if you didn't study, you didn't pass the test. If you didn't work hard, you got less than good grades. So somewhere along the way you started to learn that you needed to function and you needed to work in the world. And some of you were rewarded for that. Some of you found out you didn't have the skills for it, and so you were punished rather than rewarded. You built a construct that is basically a piece of either functioning or dysfunctioning persona. Some of you early on became damaged goods. Some of you began to realize, oh my God, I am a great person. I have, I'm a beautiful person. You'd see people in the gym, who would have great upper body strength, and the next thing you know, they found out their knee wouldn't work properly because they never worked on the lower body, and they were all totally upper body functioning. The beautiful exterior and the internal mechanism, something wasn't functioning properly, and they had focused on not in the wrong areas, but they didn't focus on the total person, on the total vehicle. People who really decide to take care of the whatever it is you're focused on, the taillights of your being. They're beautiful taillights. They're always clean. They're always ready. People can see when you're stopping and when you're braking and when you're going, and you find yourself to be a wonderful series of taillights. But the ignition isn't working properly, and there's all these issues that are problematic. Anyway, we are all on some level imbalanced and dysfunctional, and the worst part of the whole situation is that we are not built to last. So no matter how dysfunctional we are ultimately going to completely fall apart. We will be in the junkyard, and we will be pieces of equipment for other people, the few parts that worked, and the rest will rust into oblivion. Or just remain in the junk pile forever. I know this sounds very negative, guys. But I am trying to make a point, and it's an important point, that if we are a used car lot, let's understand something. One is we were once not used. We were once not abused. At one point, we were a whole package. At one point, we were gleaming We smelled new, we felt new, we were new, everything was possible. And it was an extraordinary ride in the world. How did you get used? What did life do to you that used you up? Part of it is time and space. Part of it is wear and tear. One of the great things about life is that there are garages that can fix you up and replace parts of the motor and parts of the ignition. There are things that are not working and rehabilitate you. Part of this can be done externally. There really are places to go where you can do the work, where you can go to the gym, where you can go to the meditation class, where you can go to all of these different places and take charge of rehabilitating yourself, making yourself function almost like new. But you cannot go to these places without a purpose, without a drive, without a discipline, without some idea that you will do the work. You cannot go and hand it over. You have to do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. So if you end up in a meditation class like this, and you come in and you say, fix me, I can be part of the repair cycle. I can give you information. I can give you energy. I can give you motivation. I can give you inspiration and hope. I can do all of that. But who goes home with that, and what do you do with it? What do you do with this knowledge and this inspiration? I have no control over it. Zero. If you come back to me a week later or 2 weeks later and say, well, I would have meditated and I would have practiced, but I had this happening and that happened and all this stuff went on, I would be, well, okay, I'm sympathetic, but I can't do anything about that. Only you could. Here's the incredible part of the used car lot in the meditation world. There are tools to be used that can help you become a better functioning, almost like new, vehicle if you want it. Here's the real gift of the meditative repair kit. If you realize only so much can be done outside you, only so much can be done by somebody else, the real work of repairing you, of restoring you to like new, is to find your way into the renewable resources of your own inner being. And meditation, the class we do here, is a roadmap. This is what you do. This is how you go into, we'll call them the energy centers of your being, the chakras. The chakras that can open and close, that can nurture and refresh you. This is how you go into these spaces. This is how they can help you, because in every one of these internal guidance spaces of your system, there are tools that will show you how to function externally and how to let it take over internally so that you can become who you want to be and what you want to be no matter what. You can become a really beautiful, refurbished, recreated car, if you will. You have the ability to be that. But much of that comes from help from the outside and helping yourself on the inside. Help on the inside means going into the depth of the heart chakra and asking for help. We say to surrender, which means to let go of thinking you can do it by yourself and let it tell you how to do it. The extraordinary thing about the heart chakra is that it is a guidance system for your psyche. It is a guidance system for your life. It is self-correcting. It tells you what to do. Do this, do that, feel this, feel that. It begins to give you an idea of what has to be done. Much of that will be, it will tell you, go to the repair shop, go to the gym, go to the meditation class. Then it will tell you, do this regularly. Take charge. Be responsible for the repair of who and what you are. That's what it will do. It will tell you to be that. And it will show you how to do that. And it will help reinforce it, because every day you do your own inner work, you will feel more expansive, more accessible to the world, more available to yourself, more alive in the world, more functional. And you will feel like this is worth it. This is good. When things get really tough out in the world, where it's raining every day and the rust is building up, where life is cloudy and cold and not joyful, you can go into this deep inner space and discover that it has a kind of perpetual warmth, a warming system that keeps you cozy and comfortable and says it's going to be okay. The outside may not be so okay, but you're okay. You're kind of deeply okay. And you can go back into that and feel it. It has what we call an aliveness to it. It's deeply alive. And it's deeply radiant with life. And it really loves being alive. And it's very powerful. Yes, it can be tested by life. Yes, you may feel at some point you need to protect it and yourself, and you go deep inside and you withdraw into a cocoon of, this is where I need to be. But it is protected. It is valued, it has vibrancy, and you sit there, and then the tendrils of yours open up again, of your inner being, to feel your way back out into the safety of the world, which may or may not be particularly safe at any given time. The incredible thing about the inner space is it knows it is safe. It is ever safe, ever ready. It is the depth of your being. And it is all you have, ultimately. And here's something really extraordinary. When the car is being broken up, when the rust really completely takes over, when the car is going to be demolished, everything around the car that's going to be taken away, this remains. There's an old adage, Nisargadatta talks about it. What happens to the building, to the air in which a building exists when the building is gone? What happens to that space? Do you think that space suffers the loss of the building? Do you? The building is gone, the space is there. It is indestructible, really. We are living in an interesting time. I don't want to elaborate on that. All of you know in your own way what I'm talking about. I am completely surrounded by people functioning and dysfunctioning in varying ways. I am hearing stories of people's lives that make me feel more and more about how hard it is to be human, how hard it is to live a human life. And my heart breaks over and over at the reality of what people go through. I have a practice that I can share with people that can help make it better. But you can't share it with people who, one, don't know about it or don't want to know about it, or certainly don't want to do the work of it. But for those who show up at the door, who come here, all I can say is, you've come to a good place. There is material here, there is information here, there is guidance here, there are tools here that can make you better. You will have to do the fixing ultimately, but the fix is there for you. You can be whole, solid, content, aware, real in the world, if you want. For many people, the journey from dysfunction to function is a vast enterprise. You go to a used car lot and you can see cars in there that go, oh my God, they'll never sell this one. Or if they do, who's going to take charge of this thing? It's a problem. The journey to function in the human experience is sometimes measured in the tiniest of incremental measurements. And I'm going to tell you the one that I see that is the most most beautiful and the most valuable. And I'm going to go back to something I go back to a lot when I talk about it. But it is an arrival at a place where everything is going wrong, your difficulties are enormous, the world around you is oppressive, the inside is making it difficult to find your core. And yet, in all of this struggle, this effort to become whole and to become you and to find your center is such a beautiful journey. And then one day you realize, forgive them, for they know not what they do. This thing arises inside you, and it cares about another person. It cares about another person even more than it cares about you. That journey into a sublime compassion may be the full extent of the repair kit. It may be all we have. This ability to get to thy will be done, the idea that you are not the sole measurement of the world, that you have a capacity in being whatever and whoever you are to care about another human being. And the simplest of gestures are the celebratory elements of human experience. The car that would never drive again suddenly is on the road, and it's feeling its speed and it's feeling its power, and it comes to a red light or a yellow light, and it comes to that yellow light and it sees that it has the power to speed through it, but it sees another car slowly moving through it or a pedestrian crossing the street, and it goes, I do not need to celebrate myself. I need to be one with the totality and to allow that other car or that pedestrian their ride. And it slows down and it takes control of itself and it says, I have done what I need to do, let the world do what it needs to do. And there is an incredible understanding of the totality that we are engaged in. That's what we're looking for. It's small, it's simple, it's allowing, it's compassionate, it's loving, and it's deeply good. So even a used car can function. Even a used human being can function. Even dysfunctional people can find their way to love and compassion. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be, celebrated. You don't have to write a book and go on the Today Show to talk about it. You can just be it. You can just be it in the simplest terms. And if somebody were going to make a movie, you would be the subject of a wonderful movie. Because that's all you need to see is that tiny little bit of, it's okay. Boy, does that feel good. This practice, like every meditative practice, like everything that we do to try to bring ourselves into a kind of what we call betterment, is really, really a gift in the world. But it's not a gift if you don't take advantage of it. At the depth of the navel chakra, just below your navel and a little bit inside, is a seat of what we call power, or empowerment. If you can get your mind to go down past your heart chakra, your throat chakra, into the navel chakra, and feel that space quietly, deeply emanating within you, you will find the power that creates discipline. You will find the power that brings you into the repair shop, the power that takes you to the gym when you don't want to go, the power that brings discipline into life, strength, and capacity. This is your job spiritually. It's one of the tools. We have lots of tools. Finding your own empowerment is everything. Make yourself what you need to become. Take charge. Know that it's up to you. I cannot meditate for you. I cannot work out for you. I cannot do any of those things. But boy, oh boy, I hope I can encourage you to go to the gym. And I hope I can encourage you to open your heart and open your navel chakra, open your mind, open your being to the life around you and serve as deeply as you can through this unbelievable power that's within you. That's what we're able to do. That's who we are. It's what we can do. It's what we're here to do. If you want to abdicate that, it's your choice. If you want to embrace it, take it on. It's available. This is the best used car lot in the world. Take advantage. Any questions? Okie doke. Thank you.